On the line, follow any instructions, don't hang up until you're told to. And very importantly, do not misuse the emergency line as WACS calls delay real help and are punishable by law. Let's work together to make Lagos safer for everyone. Remember the number. Remember, call 767 or 112 in an emergency. This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Stay alert, stay safe.
What's your emergency?
A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to your number one dial on radio. It is Midweek Politics live on Miller 98.3 FM. Good to have you join us. For every single time, we have to say our goodbyes at the end of the session every Wednesday. I'm always super excited, not because I'm excited to leave the show, but I'm also excited that in the next couple of days again we'll come back and have another 120 minutes of conversation on pure governance, and that's exactly what we do on the show. It is investigative journalism brought to radio, because we give you every dimension to the story, every details you need to know. Like they would always say in basic journalism, the 5 W's and H: how, when, why, where, what, who, and everyone involved in every story I will choose to focus on. We'll bring you all of those details to the show today. You're welcome. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, your number one dial on radio, and every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. 120 minutes straight of politics, hardcore politics, beyond the surface conversation. And of course, we bring in seasoned analysts to help us dig down and break into details everything you need to know. We'll also supply you soundbite, live interview, anything, just to flesh up the content and the context of the conversation that we choose to. My name is 괏ᴜᴜ Akinyode, and like I said, every Wednesday 1 to 3 p.m. this is where you should always be. And this is not the only space where we get to drive conversations like this on Mainland FM, beginning from Sunday 6 to 8 p.m. Side 1 and his league of elite political analysts would always come together on political round table. Another 120 minutes for you, and we'd always open the phone lines for you to join the conversation. Or you can also follow on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, formerly Twitter, on Mainland 98.3 FM. And don't forget, you can also follow us on Radio Garden. We're streaming live on all of those platforms. And on Monday to Thursday, there is the Situation Room from 4 to 5:30, and on Friday, the Yoruba version of the Situation Room, Oroilu, also from 4 to 5:30. So it's a bumper space for you to have a conversation with us around leadership, accountability, and everything you need to know, especially as we continue to demand for dividends of democracy from the people that were constitutionally empowered to deliver the same for us. Mr. Matthew Okodua is live in the studio with us today, and I've always said it that it's always a big privilege and pleasure to have him join us. But because there was some drama that happened in Edo State yesterday, we decided to make a quick stop to the state. I decided to bring a man that understands the politics, the nitty-gritties of everything that goes on in that state. He is also joining us as usual. My regular analyst, every Wednesday. Said Fuad is also joining us on the show today, and together we'll make a stop in Edo State to look at whatever it is that happened yesterday to the 2019 vice presidential candidate of the PDP, the same person, 2023 candidate of the Labour Party, and one of the leading figure of the coalition at the All African Democratic Congress, even though is still yet to pick his membership card of the ADC. I'm talking about Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. There was also the former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Chief John Oyegun. There was the 2024 Labour Party governorship candidate in Edo State, the former chairman of the NBA. I'm talking about Barrister Olumide Akpata, and a few other people, were attacked yesterday in Edo State. Well, allegations are flying around, fingers are being pointed. Some people are saying, oh, it is the ruling APC that is causing chaos. Some people are saying, no, it is the ADC themselves that are staging what happened yesterday. We give you all of those details on the show today. Of course, the embattled former governor of Kaduna State and one of the signatories to the formation of the All Progressive Congress in 2013. Yes, Malam Nasir El-Rufai is being in custody since he arrived in Nigeria from Cairo, and the following day, after he made that interview where he said something about wiretapping the phone line of the National Security Advisor, a judgment was given about 15 minutes ago, denying him bail and adjourning the case to the 23rd of April 2026. We'll have that conversation also on the show today. So like I said, it's a bumper package, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on the show today. We'll take a very, very short break. When we come back, we'll get straight up into it. It is Midweek Politics, live on Mainland 98.3 FM. So we've given you everything we're going to be talking about on the show today. So if you want to go anywhere, just make sure you're moving with your radio set. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with Okoyemi and Said Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
They spoil more and more. And as time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see, no water to drink. So a couple of months back, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. There was a failed service delivery, and then he was very, very angry about it. And I said, see, Nigerian consumers are one of the most abused anywhere in the world. So you pay for services and you don't get the value for those services, and you can barely get redress for same. And it's disturbing. You know, you have airtime on your phone, you can't make calls, you have data on your phone, you can't access the internet, your bank app. Sometimes you're sending money for emergency, the money is hanging somewhere. It's quite unfortunate, and I would always tell you, you can blame the service providers, but again, you also need to look at the people supervising the operations of the service providers. What exactly are the government agencies doing in this regard? It's quite pathetic, you know, when basic things, I've always said it,
America is a Nigeria that is working, and that's the simple truth. And that's why every single opportunity. Why do you think Dirty December is getting popular? Because people are looking for the easiest opportunity to come to Nigeria and experience, I don't know, but it's quite unfortunate. And I really hope that we get to that point where, as a citizen, your interest is protected. When you pay for something, you get the value for that thing. If you don't consume electricity, you don't get paid, or you don't get charged for it. Whether you're bank A or you're bank W, anywhere they place you, there should be value for whatever it is that you're paying. Well, I'm talking about payment. A news broke a day before yesterday evening in respect to some amount of money that was legitimacy of that report and giving a contrary opinion. So that's why we're going to be starting the conversation today, and it has to do with whether ransom was paid to release the abducted girls in Kebbi State. So let's run through this story real quick. Like I said, Side Forward is live with us in the studio. Matthew Okoda is also here in the studio. I have to drag Mr. Matthew Okoda to join us because there was an incident in Edo. So let's talk to the man that understands. I didn't say he knows the incident too, but he understands the politics of that state. Let me just basically introduce my guest first. Mr. Matthew Okoda, you were not here last week and people called to ask of you. I said maybe we'll sign an agreement to make sure that you commit to coming like 2 or 3 times a month. Good to have you join us on the show today, Mr. Okoda.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Side Forward, it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and every single day there's a twist, there's a plot, there's a subplot, there's something to discuss, and it's always a pleasure to have you join us. Good to have you join us, and once again, Ramadan Kareem is the 8th, right?
Yeah, the 8th. Yeah, thank you.
Even
so
if you are
much.
not casting, we are fasting.
Why are you counting it?
For people who are not fasting, accounting for people who are fasting.
Can you imagine?
But it's a good one.
It makes the month to be the holiest.
That's why we should conduct election in February.
And I've seen very what I call, well, it's always been like that anyways. The impact of the Ramadan season, everywhere just shuts down. Of course, I'm always a regular on the CMD road. So before you get to Otedola, you have so many
social space everywhere.
And I was shocked last week Friday, very late in the night, a place that it's always
a solid social hall,
busy and all that. It was virtually empty. I'm asking myself, what's going on? Is it because when there's Ramadan, everywhere goes quiet.
Even basic restaurant, they'll tell you they don't cook in the morning, they are cooking in the afternoon.
So there's actually something very important about that month. There's no way you would not know that something is going on. So well, it's a pleasure to be with you on the midweek politics.
Okay, so let's ride on the wave of this holy month now. And remember when INEC released the timetable for the 2027 election, MPAC and MURIC and a couple of groups, Islamic interest groups also rose and kicked against it. Khan is yet to make a statement in that regards, by the way, but the projection for next election, next Ramadan, is it could start on the 8th of February and run through the period of the election, including Lent. So, I mean, my opinion does not matter on this space, but we've gotten involved in a lot of people. And I remember I had Comrade Steve Aluko join us last week, the executive director of the civil society organizations in Nigeria, and we got up and he says, maybe for once, if we truly believe that our situation in Nigeria needs spiritual intervention, maybe we should conduct election during the holy month of Ramadan and Lent. Let's give it that. Whether if you are fasting, you will collect money to sell your votes, or maybe you will go and change figure on the form E8, whatever. I'm just saying, should we ride on the wave of that emotion, Mr. Matthew Okoda, and say, you know what?
I don't think we should. Why? Because the human element in any situation matters a lot. When I say human element, that is saying those who are changing these figures, the one you're talking about, those who are corrupting the system, are they actually that much into religion? They're not moved. They can do it inside the mosque, inside the church. they can do it anywhere. It doesn't matter to them. In fact, what they probably would do is that what Farah was saying about the effect of the fasting on the street now, they will take advantage of that because the number of people on the street will be low, and nobody will suspect them. Those who are into crime will take advantage of that and perpetuate it. To them, it doesn't matter. So let us not take advantage of anything that will, because people are behaving holy and the rest of them. The people that are behaving holy are people who are at the middle level who actually fear God.
So the ones at the lower cadre,
they fear God. We fear God. But those upstairs, they equate with them. They equate themselves with God. They don't fear God.
So they have nothing to fear.
They have nothing to fear.
All right. I mean, I've just been checking opinions in respect to that. Or should we just stick to the timetable released by INEC? Should we conduct election across board? Or you think, the pressure coming from Murik, from MPAC, and Islamic Council and a few other interest group should it be considered? But I'm very sure that INEC is probably making those stakeholders consultation and speaking to a couple of people. Multiple intelligence sources have alleged that the Nigerian government secretly paid a multi-million-dollar ransom to secure the release of the pupils and staff abducted from a Catholic boarding house in November, despite repeated official denials and existing laws banning ransom payments in Nigeria. Sources, according to the AFP, that the payment was made to militants linked to Boko Haram and that the deal also involved the release of 2 senior commanders of the group. According to 3 intelligence officials familiar with the negotiation, the ransom, described as huge, was flown by helicopter to the militant stronghold in Gwoza in Borno State near the Cameroon border. The cash was reportedly delivered to Ali Ngude, a key commander operating in that zone. Due to poor telecommunication coverage, Ngude had to cross into neighboring Cameroon to confirm the receipt of the funds before the first batch of 100 abducted children was released. The victims were among the nearly 300 pupils and staff seized from St. Mary's Boarding School in Papari in Niger State on the 21st of November. At least 50 later escaped from captivity. That was the statement. So the federal government has responded to that, and it says that the Nigerian government had rejected a media report alleging that they paid a huge amount of money to Islamic militant group to secure the release of more than 200 pupils and staff abducted from a Catholic boarding school in November. Information Minister Mohammed Idris described the allegations made by the AFP news agency, quoting intelligence sources, as completely false and baseless and a disservice to the professionalism and integrity of Nigeria's security forces. He denied that 2 Boko Haram commanders were free as part of the deal. And in the statement, they also announced, attached with that statement was the announcement of the resignation of the former Inspector General of Police. But let's start from this, and it's a story that is generating a lot of interest across board. On the optics, it doesn't look good for the government, especially when you follow the story of some amount of money was paid to some PR firm in the US to positively launder the image of the government and all of that. Side forward, which side of the divide would you stay? A comprehensive investigation that was carried out with details, but the government had come out to reject it, saying that no, it's absolutely not true. While this abduction, when the abduction happened, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, came out to say that the abducted pupils are safe and they will be returned in due time. So the question people asked is this: how were those girls rescued and the other staff? Was there a combat? Was it just a call that was pulled through and then the people were released? Were there exchange of monies? Or was it that the military went in, attacked those people, killed them, and rescued those girls? What do you make of this story, side forward, especially the reply of the government, discrediting that report? And on the back of the statement credited to the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Rifai, saying that the Kaduna State government pays 1 billion every month to bandits.
Well, it's unfortunate that we may have to, at some point, maybe at this point, begin to tell ourselves the truth, because we cannot continue to live in denial about some of these things. We don't need an El Rufai or an investigative report from the AFP to know what may have been going on. On the basis of common sense, the events that we've had consistently have shown a pattern of negotiations with these criminals. Because it's just basic common sense. I'm sure if you put the first graders together to say, oh, this is the situation, people are abducted and they come back in this manner, they will tell you, oh, they must have paid them. How much more? We are not dummies, we are not fools, right? And it's unfortunate again that this government has positioned itself as one that cannot be trusted. Consistently, we've had situations where they've denied stories, they've denied investigations, and it turns out to be true. I remember when Sahara reporters and Premier Times reported that there was a coup last year. They denied it. Yeah, the military authorities denied it. The government was a bit silent about it, but it was clear that they were trying to manage information. And I saw people who went to town to say, oh, Sahara reporters it's just about rumors, it doesn't confirm. And eventually it has now been confirmed that look, there was indeed an attempted coup at that time. We've also had situations, for example, where look at what happened in Kaduna State, where the governor, the commissioner vehemently denied that there was any abduction, something had gone wrong. So and several, I can't continue to remember cases where this government have said one thing and eventually come back to admit that this is what has actually happened. Apart from even denials, this is a government that has not really been accountable, that has not been transparent with the people when it even comes to basic things as giving out the right information in matters that are not complex. And when I say matters are not complex, a government that cannot be truthful to Nigerians about the movement of their president cannot be trusted. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. Because the movement is a very basic thing.
Basic. I should know when my president is
at any given time.
At any given time. And
basic.
That one is as basic as anything, that a very basic truth about the whereabouts of the president at any given time. I'm sorry. I will not sit back here and begin to trust that kind of government. Even when they give me information, I'll have to check and recheck. That's why when they send out their press release, you see that we keep reading and trying to really understand whether there are aspects of it that we need to query. Yes, I know when it comes to the issue of insecurity, they will tell you, oh, there are things you still don't say. But there are things that you must say.
Basic things.
America, for example, will tell you they have their soldiers here. They'll give you the number of soldiers. What they are doing here, they'll tell you
their location.
They'll tell you their location.
You want to do to
this
them.
Is where the military base is located and what have you. But there might be some other things that they will not tell you or they may not tell you. You understand? But they will not send soldiers here and tell you they have not sent soldiers here.
Or tell Americans
or not inform Americans that they've sent soldiers here.
No.
They will tell you an operation, for example. They will tell you this is what we did, this is how we did it. In fact, they will even give you details of the number of aircraft they sent there, what they achieved with it, and all of that. I'll give a very clear example and why the government has actually been putting itself in a very tight position when it comes to information management. For example, one of the biggest enemies in the world, it has run into decades, is Israel and Palestine. But they still do prisoner swap and they don't hide it. When they get to a point where they have to negotiate and put things on the table, they give you all the details of the negotiation.
Nothing is hidden.
As it stands today, Israel classifies Hamas as a terrorist organization. The same way we have classified these bandits and what have you as terrorists. But if we get to the point where people are abducted
they
and
still
we need
come to the table to negotiate,
and they tell you this is what you done.
Give me A, I give you B.
This is prisoner swap. But they might finish everything and start to pound them again.
Yes.
but that moment,
but they will tell the people if they have to pay to get their people out. They'll tell you we did this. So we see why we are saying that look, we need some level of transparency on these issues. That look, it's clear that these abductions have become a criminal enterprise, in the words of Mr. Matthew Okodwa. It's an organized crime, and if you go and read the history of these kinds of criminal enterprise, organized crime of this scale, look, you might be surprised that there are even people in the presidency who know about these things,
who are involved, not just
who may be involved.
That 2 billion they pay, sorry, might not just go to the foot soldiers in the bush alone.
Okay, Go and read. You know, and that's why we need to be very careful. I remember when Goodluck Jonathan, I think it was under his regime, that he himself said he's suspecting that there are Boko Haram elements in his government.
Yes.
Because at that time, when they have security meeting, before they know, the information is out.
Because
I remember
will be reacting to it.
So I remember when Professor Bolaji Akinyemi said that, look, there was a time the Americans reached out to the Jonathan government to say, look, these abducted Chibok girls, we've been able to identify their location. Look, I can tell you that, look, there's no movement anywhere in the face of Earth that America does not know about. The satellite imagery covers everywhere. Just do your Google Earth, even on your phone.
It will spotlight everywhere you're looking for.
Look, if you want to see this building now, just go on Google Earth. It will show you this exact location, this building. In fact, there are apps that will show you movements of people if you want to see Ikorodu Road. So these things are available. That's why when the Zamfara governor was saying that, look, when these guys are moving, even from his phone, he's able to track their movement.
Where they go, yeah.
Because once you got, I remembered, you know, recently one of our guys was traveling from Abuja, and I think he got to a particular place, and from up there, he saw, this is our estate too. He saw, so look, Opemi, if you want to see your house now, just go to Google Earth and begin to move your navigations. You will see the roof of your building, you see everything. So people moving in their hundreds on motorcycles with abductees, you can't tell me 300, 400 people that, look, we don't have enough intelligence as to where they are located. But we've seen a pattern that appears like, hope our people are not also involved in this. And when I say our people, at the highest level of government, how do they get into communities, move people en masse without real resistance from our troops? Severally we've asked very pertinent questions about how these things are done. Up till now, nobody has been able to give a reasonable answer. I'll give you 3 quick questions. Number 1, when the Kebbi governor said, we got this intelligence.
That is the withdrawal. And that's what I was just putting
up till now. Up till now.
No answer.
No answer.
That's the state governor.
And look, this idea of us asking critical questions about these things without answers, it not be today. When the other man, the Boko Haram man, was arrested by the military, and Yusuf, and handed over to the police, and they killed him. Custody. The question was, why did you kill him? You already arrested him. Have we gotten answers to why they eliminated him immediately? Extrajudicial killing.
And that killing is probably one of the things that led us to where we are.
That was what started the whole thing. And then people like Shekau started their own
leading breakout groups.
And this is what, and that in itself is what has led to what we are now dealing with. So you have a situation where people raise pertinent questions, critical questions as to there must have been a compromise somewhere. We got the intelligence, we formed the security operatives. They basically do not. In fact, what they sometimes do is to withdraw. The people come in, and when the communities even try to go on their trail, they stop them from doing anything.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay, you know the North very well. I've also stayed in part of the North. Yes, we might talk about ungoverned spaces, but to come into a community, to move people en masse, sir, what it means is that you yourself that wants to come and abroad must have passed through those ungoverned spaces for hours.
We're talking about motorcycle operation. You can't take more than maybe 3 or 4 people on the motorcycle. So you have 300 people. So that's like 50 motorcycles. And if they move, you know the sound.
And then from those communities to wherever they hide these people, they must have been on that journey for hours. So you ask yourself, there must be something going on. There's something definitely going on. And if we all agree that this has become a criminal enterprise, organized crime, then we have to begin to suspect ourselves. And when I say suspect ourselves, the president himself must begin to check the people around him. He must also begin to check the people he has given the job to. Because this level of incompetence is
it looks unprecedented.
It looks suspicious, for a want of better word. That they come into look at what happened in Niger State. They came in, pick the children, move like that. And then,
you know, when you said pick the children, it looks like I'm picking the barrel and putting it in my pocket.
That you stop your car.
To pick 10 goats, you will try.
You will try.
How much more human beings? So they go into communities in Kaduna State, 177. You know, so if you look at the entire thing, and I think that the supporters of government who are naive to think, oh, this is just about the opposition politicians trying to spoil the name of the government. They better begin to, because look, I remember as a kid, you know, so when we go to the mosque and we have the imams praying, and they say, oh, may God make you defeat your enemies. So whenever there's a prayer about enemies, I discovered that my grandfather would not say amen to it. So
the enemy could
I know as a child we will shout because our enemy can. So you don't. We see that it's always very reluctant to react to prayers against enemies. So there was a day, you know, and because he trained also, we always engaging. I said, Alaji, why is it that when any affair is talking about you just think. He said, look, this thing about enemies that before you think about any other person, first think about yourself. You can even be your own enemy.
No. You can be enemy to somebody too.
You can also, and you can even be your own personal enemy. And you might even be surprised that the enemies are even within. So identifying an enemy goes beyond you just thinking that somebody is that man. It could just
not actually be your enemy.
It could just even be people just around you. It could be your benefactors. It could even be people you are feeding. So while politicians will think, oh, this is just the case of people who are trying, I've seen people argue like that. Well, you know, when elections are coming, they do these things to spoil the name of government, blah blah blah. I think to oversimplify it in that manner may even be the reason why we are not getting real solution to the problem.
Because we politicize it.
We just say it's about politics.
We just color it.
But what we have, Mr. Matthew Okodua, appears like something bigger than what we are saying.
We are not seeing anything yet.
How the monies are exchanging hands, how the ransoms are being delivered. I'm sorry, the government has not done enough to convince me to doubt the AFP report. And I've told people who care to listen, who say, oh, they didn't give the evidence. Well, as journalists, we are not bound to reveal our sources.
Yes.
What you are supposed to do when we give reports like that as investigative journalists is to now bring your own counter facts.
And let's see.
So we now wait against the report. Even if you drag me to any court in the world, no court will compel a journalist
to review the source
of their information. But what you can do to dispel a report is to now come up with what alternate facts to say, oh, we got these children back, and this was the communication. For example, we just called their leader, and when we called him, we told him that we were coming after him. He trembled and released them. Or we called him and called him the name his father used to call him. He started crying and released the children. But not to come up with the boo-boo yaya of, you know, we just spoke with them, they now release the children.
Look, after they labored inside the forest for
so people will come, risk, and the government will tell you, Mr. Mohammed Idris should please not insult our intelligence. We've seen rescue efforts by other governments. When America goes on a rescue mission, in fact, when they finish the whole thing, they give you the details. We saw the Osama bin Laden killing operation.
A full movie was done with documentary details. People's faces were not even covered.
In fact, guys who participated in the operation,
yes,
FBI agents that were involved, they were detailed to say, look,
they sat down, faced the camera to explain everything
that this was what we did, this was the investigation we did. So they gave everything. Yes, there might have been one or two things. For example, up till today, there are people who still doubt the American story of where bin Laden was buried. That, oh, you know, he was thrown into at sea. It was this, the fact that he was killed. And you know, rationally, people have said that, look, the reason why they might not really talk about where he was,
they don't want him to. They don't want. I don't know.
They might even turn it to an idol. They and all that begin to so
that could be shrine there,
which is reasonable. But they gave you the it was when he was killed. They told you he was killed. This
the person that shot him said that he saw him and he saw Osama bin Laden just few inches away from him, and he had to pull the trigger.
But our own people make the whole thing look as if, when you demand for this information, you are asking for too much. But the little they give to us does not make sense.
Mr. Matthew Okodwa, one thing is essential for everything that Said Fuad has said in the last 15 minutes or thereabout. It is trust in this conversation. When the AFP report came out very early on Monday morning, immediately I saw it. Because over time, because of the nature of our jobs, when you are trying to fact check, there are certain publications that you know that once this one gives you, is as close as taking it to the bank. So when I saw AFP, I was very careful. I reached out to Said Fuad, sent the news to him. I said, he said, let us subpedal a little bit. Then the story was going viral. It was getting bigger until the Minister of Information now released a statement. Mr. Matthew Okodwa, how bad is the level of distrust affecting us in terms of combating the insurgency that we have in Nigeria? And when I say the level of distrust, it's not just between the government and the government now. The security agencies are also involved. The communities where information are being gathered are also involved. The source of information is also involved. The manner at which this information is being circulated is involved. Intelligence gathering and sharing of intelligence and the usage of same is also involved. The trust between all of the security agencies to coordinate and work together is also involved. Have we lost this battle because of that singular element of I don't trust you enough, so that's not what here, side, Mr. Okodwa?
Thank you, Kwayemi. You are talking as if distrust here is from one person to the other. Distrust in Nigeria today is a culture.
We're living it.
Well, it's our way of life. So it's not that one person, we don't. It's our way of life, and government has energized that culture by not accepting responsibility, by not doing what they are supposed to do at the same time. So we're not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it as if, maybe the army is distrusting the navy, or the navy distrusting this. No.
Nigerians don't even trust themselves.
No people in Nigeria trust themselves now in this. So it's our culture. It has become our culture because our politicians have defined politics wrongly. For us, for the Nigerian politician, the democracy is for us to enrich ourselves, not to serve. And anything that stands on your way in enriching yourself becomes enemy. The same thing we are talking about. Before we're talking about whether we have done enough. Government has been coming forth with truth and the rest of them. The politicians in government, if selling Nigeria will give them money, they will go ahead and sell it. So if paying 2 billion for ransom is to get rich, so be it. See, there's one thing I want to sympathize with the president, hoping that he's actually not aware of what is going on. They say he that is down fears no fall. Ransom is not the first thing. The first embarrassment government has was the successful kidnapping of those number of children at the same time.
Unchecked.
So once those children were kidnapped, government was down. Ransom was like, they were already down, so let's do it. The speculation was that the delay in, the first, denial, was to allow the criminals to go very far
before response.
Was to allow them go very, very far. Local government saying a lie, police saying a lie, government saying it didn't happen. Within that period, they would have gone very far with their loot, which happened to be human beings. The same thing in Kwara. They say it took the military some 10 hours to come. Before the message of the district head, somebody heard it back and allowed them to go very far. Far out of sight. Before, it's actually true. These are the conspiracy theories we have. So now, you are here, we're not paying ransom, this. And in your own eyes, they came and kidnapped 300, 150, 170, and this we are talking about the one of St. Teresa. What of other ones? What of other St. Mary? What of the other ones? The one in Kwara, the one in Kaduna that were returned. You think they just shake hands with the criminals and they release them?
You know,
so sorry, when you are talking of, in journalism, talking about source now. Let the Minister of Information tell us what he knows about AFP. AFP is not one of those agencies that are flippant with the information.
Facts, yeah.
With fact, they are not. They don't just pick any information on the street. And I remember I have a friend who, a colleague, said it was with the BBC, and they said there was a coup in Nigeria. Then those days of coup.
Yes.
And BBC didn't carry it early enough. AFP carried it. Which is the other one? TASS carried it. That's the Soviet Union. They carried it, and the rest of them. BBC says they will not carry. They are not BBC reporters. They stood their ground until
their own reporter.
Until they got somebody from Nigeria, from Kano, I think, who eventually confirmed the thing before they carried it. I mean, these international agencies, they don't play around with information that are not confirmed. So what I expected the Minister of Information to do is to find another way, another narration.
Not to discredit
not to discredit, because if he want to save this government, if he doesn't want to embarrass this government, let him just keep quiet. Because by the time AFP opens another page,
because it might not be the complete report.
This
comes in batches. Yeah,
it's not just that. By the time
they now give more facts,
the next page
to defend it.
The minute open the next page, the minister will not like it. Let him just keep quiet and find something else to.
I like the fact that the NSA has not spoken. Because they said they reached out to him, he's been quiet.
You understand?
Maybe he understands more than the Minister of Information.
Yes. So let's close up this conversation. That will go touch the unfortunate Edo State story. And I'm going to be asking both of you. I want to take your opinion around this. The manner of this abduction looks the same. Gone are those days where they say they come into a community, they carry 2 people, 5 people, 1 person. In a weekend where the president was in Katsina. The late President Muhammadu Buhari was in town that weekend where the abduction happened. And since then, he's been on that singular range: 100, 130, 150, 200, 300. The fact that I'm trying to imagine how 300 people were abducted.
If you put 100 people here,
you know how
now,
many lorries?
This studio is big enough. 100 people cannot conveniently stay in this place.
50 safe.
50 will raise inconvenience as big as this place is. Is this a manner that is backing the position of AFP on that report, that the more we are able to abduct, the more the price we get from them? Because we know that the Niger girls were released in apologies. They were released in batches. 100. They said 50 escaped. Maybe that's to confirm that truly people were abducted. Because I'm wondering how 50 could escape and they didn't notice when they were escaping.
And not 51.
But all of the numbers, Mr. Matthew Okodo aside forward quickly, is this a pattern that singles out that truly ransoms are being paid? And what does this say about the position of the government that had criminalized ransom payments?
I told you it's a structured pattern. It's a structured pattern in the sense that it is one hand that is mobilizing all of them into what they should do, what they should not do. And that same hand has reach outside and reach inside.
It's the same one as collecting money.
Yes, reach outside and reach inside. I was saying, if you go far, if you are going to find out that 2 billion they said they give to these people,
maybe somebody inside is collecting 50%.
Somebody within the house is collecting. I mean, how can you pay? What's wrong with you? Where you go and bring 2 people? How much do you want to get for 2 people?
1 million.
Does that
carry 300?
Why are they going to carry 300? How do we do it? Say just forget it.
Don't worry.
Are you ready? Go. You will go. You will come back. Just identify the location. Okay.
We order withdrawal of troops from that axis.
That day, whoever is commanding whatever will be asked to go on vacation. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory that is somebody think that this structure has to be unraveled. There's nothing we can do right now. I only pray that this is the last. This set is the last of these adoptions. But I will not be surprised before the week runs out. Another 150 is kidnapped in somewhere else. Another 150, another 160. And 2 weeks later, they'll be brought back with uniform.
The pattern at which they wear those uniforms for them and they clean them up,
because and after you pay ransom, you part of the money to buy the uniform.
And disgracefully enough, the governors will now sit down
and be wearing big
agbada and be snapping pictures and will receive them as if they are people you sent on scholarship and came back with results. These people have gone through crazy trauma.
No, Kwemi, we're seeing very strange things. And it appears that we've gotten to a point where abnormality has now become the norm. So you look at see if these things are normal. It doesn't really matter. When you over question it or you try to even question it, they say you are not patriotic or somebody
happy they are back.
So on that basis, you must not question anything. Oh, at least even thank the government that they did what they did to bring them back.
Whatever was possible.
You know, so and really because of again. We have this conversation, and again, when people engage us, I look at their level of understanding. They don't understand the dark world of organized crime, how complex it may be. A drug lord has just been executed, has been killed in Mexico, and look at how big this drug lord is. To the point where the entire country is almost on lockdown now.
Yes,
because of just one human.
FIFA are contemplating withdrawing the World Cup. Do you know how big that is?
In fact, this World Cup of US, Mexico, Canada.
They are cutting sanctions.
And you all want to host the competition, so it's you know, Mexico. But if people had gone through different stories of organized crime, you know, sometimes I remember that even in Nigeria, Mr. Godwa would testify to this when a particular senior police officer was eventually known to be part of a syndicate of armed robbers.
Yamun.
Yes.
That's DSP Yamun.
Yes, Yamun.
During the Anini period, yes.
And while Anini was arrested, he later discovered that
he's the one
supplying
arms to them.
Yes.
So these are not new situations. So in organized crime, and that's why I'm saying that you might just be surprised.
That's actually what made it organized.
Yes, that's why it's organized.
Because there's a pattern and structure that is
they have links.
They have links here and there, even in the banks.
In the banks, even in government,
they could withdraw money from the bank without filling form. That means structured and organized.
So when we talk about organized crime, it's not play. And it is only organized crime that can do these things we are seeing, these kinds of things. It's not; these are not just. Look, there are people who are receiving these monies on their behalf.
Yes.
You look at the people in the trenches. You ask yourself, this money they are collecting, how does it even benefit?
Look at the ones that used to arrest. That's a very good point. The people that are in the trenches
that we see.
That you see.
So when it trickles down, maybe it's just token.
No, they are salary.
Those are few soldiers. Those are just the ground.
The more you bring, the more you earn.
Because when you look at those people, you ask yourself,
what are you doing with 1 billion?
We've been told now that they paid almost about $7 million. If you convert $7 million,
that's a lot of money.
That's billions of naira.
Yes.
And then you look the people who collect the money. They are ragtag.
Look at them.
Like some people who don't even brush their teeth for almost a year. But it is to tell you that look, the real beneficiaries of this
hands
are not in those trenches.
They are not there.
Look, how do they even get their weapons? How are these weapons smuggled in? This illegal arms market. Who are the people who run these things? So
the fuel for their vehicles.
The fuel for their vehicles. The motorcycles who are helping them to repair the tires, who are getting the tires for them.
Who treats them when they get
the spare parts for this?
Which hospital do they
go to? You know, so it's big. It's actually bigger than what we assume.
We think. In fact, they just like the same drug empire.
Cartel.
Yes,
drug cartel all over the place. They have doctors. They have hospitals. They have nurses. They have bankers. They have everything. That is what makes it organized.
Okay, look at when Hush Puppy's case came up. You know, I've referred to it severally. And eventually it was linked to our own super cop.
Yes,
somebody that ordinarily should be investigating Hush Puppy.
They now join him in investigation.
So they were that close to the point where I think he only said that he was able to sew clothes.
Yes, now.
How the police
How the police officer become Taylor?
You know, and we are also seeing some very funny pattern now. You know, with our political campaigns, you know, we're already seeing people of questionable need government protection.
Absolutely.
And one of the wisest things to do is to get involved.
Yes,
that is it.
Get involved, sponsor, you know, fund campaigns, because at the end of the day, you're going to get the protection.
Sure.
And then, in fact, they need the protection more now, because again, once the government can protect you, you are safe.
You are covered.
So that's why you can see that they want to be friends with the IG, they want to be friends with governors, they want to be friends with the president. And if we have a state that is desperate and cannot begin to sift the grain from the chaff, wants to bring everybody on board,
you pack everybody.
That is how countries become a gang state. Countries that have failed, that we refer to as gang states now, what they've done is that they had leaders who are desperate to remain in power, and so they bring all manner of people. So far, they can perpetuate themselves in power. They don't care. There's no morality.
Nothing.
They don't care. So far, you can say yes, Oga, continue. They bring you in, and as they bring you in, they begin to empower them. They strengthen them. It gets to the point those criminal elements become stronger than the institutions of state.
Because the institution of state,
that the ones that installed the institution of state,
they withdraw for them now.
Yes, exactly. The institution of state will withdraw.
Okay,
since they are no more recognized.
So once you begin to see a criminal that tells the police officer that, look, you
go and sit down,
we'll get you sacked.
Get you sacked, and probably a call will come from upstairs,
and they just remove you, because they know that these people have got legs. Have you not seen where they write you, I'm coming back, and when he says I'm coming back, he will definitely come back. So and you know, we are also in a country where we pretend, we lie to ourselves. People with questionable wealth parade themselves all around, not real known source of income. The indices are there for us to see, but because again, it's like a reflection of the larger society, where, you know what, we are not really against corruption. We are just against a corruption that we are not benefiting from.
Period.
So our society values have gone to the point where you now even look at all sides of the divide. There's a problem. Government, problem. With among citizens, problem. Institutions that should create some form of checks and balances, all in problem.
Religious institutions, problem.
And that's why it cannot be referred to as a phase is that we are not fighting war yet amongst ourselves. But all of the elements, you know, the boxes you tick for countries that are considered failed,
the check off.
We've almost checked everything. Maybe one or two remaining. And of course, the one that we have not checked, and we are praying that we will never check at this time, is to descend into a civil war or outright war.
Outright anarchy.
But with our level of corruption, with our tolerance for criminality, with our embrace,
tolerance and
acceptance, yes. With our embrace and acceptance of people of questionable means, look, I'm not surprised. Look, I'll give you this, and I will not go too deep, but you know what I'm saying. Recently, we went on a tour of a place that was being demolished, and you know, we got to the location, and some boys told us, you say,
see what is going on.
I'm coming, I saw something now. Update.
Have you seen that update?
I've seen the update. You've seen it too.
I've seen it.
Beautiful. So, the boys in the local say, no, this guy can't say he doesn't know. This is investment in this same location, massive acres of land. So today I was driving on my way to the office, and I just peeped through.
You saw the updates
and brand new buses.
2026
brand new
clean white
Toyota Hiace buses have been assembled in that location. Obviously, it must be for campaign.
Of course.
So you see, we can, and that's why when people see me get annoyed about people rationalizing the crooked kind of politics we are playing, they don't understand. When people see me pick on people who just want us to tolerate the nonsense we have in the name of politics, provide basic health care for them. I think sometime last year somebody called me, and all over Lagos there was no hospital to take an emergency, a patient on emergency. From Lu to Lasut to FMC in Ibutimeta, the woman eventually died. The daughter was moving out from one hospital here in Lagos, Okoyemi, no bed space. It was as bad as just a bed space. So, and that is the story of a lot of Nigerians. And so when we say some of these things, is it that we don't have the money to provide these things, Okoyemi? We've got enough money to do these things. But the level of corruption, the stealing that we have going on at all levels is, I keep telling people, the amount of information we have about the level of corruption in the country, we cannot even say some of the things we have as information.
Never.
In fact, some show us quietly. We can't even come and talk about it on air. Ridiculous procurement, crazy fraudulent things going on all around. And when we were talking about the issue of Ramadan, something just came to mind. We are just a religious, we are not godly people.
I had that one yesterday.
We are just religious. And you know, being religious is just activity.
It's razzmatazz.
It's just razzmatazz.
People see it. Okay, it's like this. But
godliness is between you and God. Where nobody is there seeing you, you just want to do the right thing. And I gave an example to someone one day. I said, look, if you look at America, for example, you cannot really say they are religious people.
No.
I was in Las Vegas, Okoyemi, the entire Las Vegas. I struggled to see just one church.
You were giving me
and not a giant church.
They were there. I was in Las Vegas with
not giant.
Just small cathedral.
Small cathedral, like the one in ancient times.
I'm coming, Okoyemi. We walked around the whole of Las Vegas.
And not only that, in India, in what do you call it now?
Is it Bombay?
Bombay, but they have changed Bombay now to Maharashtra.
Yes.
In Maharashtra, I got there on a Wednesday, and on a Sunday, I was going to be there till another Friday. On a Sunday, I wanted to see church. I no see. From here to here, I no see. I swear. I carried taxi. The place they pointed church on top of one hill like that. You have to go
round it and climb from the back.
On top say, and yet this is India that has about 980,000 voters. 980 million voters registered, and they get result in 24 hours
after the elections are conducted. So when we going back to so you look at a city like Vegas, we struggled. I didn't even see any mosque. Anyways, there was no singular mosque there. But in that same town where we struggled to just see one small church, casinos are everywhere.
Hey.
Turn left, right, up, down. That's why
it's in city now.
From their airports, you are welcomed.
There's the reason they call it Sin City.
So that's why I say. So whatever happened in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
So to the average Nigerian, they are not religious.
Yes.
But the fact that city has got good hospitals, has got good roads, has got stable electricity,
has got security,
means that the Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Because it is only when you love yourselves, you know that if I carry these people's money, I'm supposed to fix a hospital.
Yes.
You understand? It means that there won't be enough health care for them, and they will be dying. Their children will suffer from small ailments, they will die. Their pregnant women will want to get maternal health care, they will die.
That is better than godliness.
But I prefer to steal the money and then go to a church
and pay tithe.
And they say they need 50 million.
I
donate. Shall you see? Let me tell you, whether it is in mosque or a salatu or church, more than half of the people we celebrate we know. And that's why I keep saying that, look, the corruption we have in the country have got consequences. Just as we also continue to make a choice to tolerate the criminality that has engulfed the political space. People of questionable character, people that, you know, you look around, you know these things. So if the roads are not fixed, it's the consequence of the bad choices we'll be making. If the hospitals are not equipped, consequence of the bad choices we have been making. If the schools are not funded, You go to our universities, you go to our secondary schools, you go to our public schools. These are consequences of the bad choices and the quality of the recruitment process and leadership that we have. So we can, so now we are not going to do election because of fasting. Beautiful, because we want to respect the month. But what of our
inside us,
the things we do?
But again, sorry for it. That if you want to take that the Muslims, some Muslim groups' objection to that clash of Ramadan, and this thing, I think is because of the value that we derive from elections, and not satisfactory value. So a value that does not give us our choice, a value that does not give us our opportunity. So why wasting it? Let's face God.
Yeah, there's also an angle.
Yeah, that's an angle, because but if election in Nigeria becomes so credible, so valued, so respected,
nobody will care when it's conducted.
Nobody will care when it is conducted.
We keep talking about why do you even have to shut down the whole country
on election?
Exactly.
On election day.
Look at Abuja, shut Abuja for 20 hours.
Because honestly, Okoyemi, if we are really godly people, not just religious people, we are supposed to have our elections even when people are at the office. So, there's a polling booth.
They would bring in van with mobile polling units. You vote and you go.
You know the sad part of the whole thing, Okoyemi, is that look, we've seen. I remembered when I was in Taraba State and I said, "What was the governor?" Say, Reverend Jolly Nyame. The man eventually was jailed.
He was jailed for stealing ecological funds. Money meant for his people.
And truly, he revved the monies of the people.
He revved it well.
To be the best when it comes to Islamic practice. They are the people who know the front and back of the Quran, but in reality,
they are crooks.
In a state, you introduce Sharia in a state. Somebody still say they should cut their hand, but in reality, what you have cut, they are supposed to cut your head. Not just hand.
So the contradiction of that situation is even funny. So after the administration of that same governor, he was accused of stealing money. But the Sharia did not try him. Regular civil court tried him and freed him.
And so people
somebody that stole goods, you said they should cut his hand. But you stole money, commonwealth of the people. If they took your case to civil court. If they value
the money and look at the amount of goods that the money will buy, that means they will cut all his head
and give his body to people.
So on a more serious note, this is so when people see the grudge, the annoyance we have about these things, because when you step out of the country into, we're not even going to talk about the Western world. I keep saying it. Our girls just came back from Morocco. We were engaging them together, and you see how annoyed they were about just visiting Morocco and what they saw. In the sporting world, you knew what they said about what Morocco presented to the world in terms of facilities, stadium, transportation. They gave us the story. We listened to them together.
Said if I should go to Morocco, that from there I'll be cursing the government.
You don't come back to. You see when you talk about even the games village, apart from the stadium that we see, how and this is.
That's Morocco. African country.
An African country.
And they don't even have democracy, by the way.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So it's a monarchical system of government.
But what we can take away from that is that they have a leadership that, number one, fears God,
and two, prioritizes the people's interest.
Because again, the foundation of every religion is love. And if I love you, I'm not going to steal your money. If I love you and I seek your mandate and you give it to me, I'm going to ensure that your monies are used to benefit you.
Because the seeking of the mandate was with a promise.
It was a social contract.
It was a contract.
And so if you aggregate everything, and so to now even come to the conclusion that every person is a potential rigger, all politicians are, those are ridiculous thought process that I just look at people. It's just to say that there are no good people again in Nigeria. Yes, the larger majority might be crooked in their thinking, or the people we have today practicing politics might be crooked, election riggers, but there are decent people in this country.
So many
of people who will contest and stand by the wish of the people. They lose, they go back home. What is the big deal?
They said it's public service. If I don't want you to serve me, you go home.
Look,
I must serve you. You use 10 billion to serve me. Or to get to place where you will serve. Am I that important?
The politicians we see in Downing Street, 10 Downing Street, who after their tenure just pick their briefcase and go home.
But here, we will monetize cars. No, we'll put them on life pension.
The next person that is coming, I must choose that person.
Have you not seen prime ministers in the UK? After the whole thing, I could be back right.
Because he didn't bring anything to
Downing Street. It's just to come and serve the people. The fulfillment is even in the fact that you are a prime minister.
Yes,
so that you can become a prime minister and you can serve the people.
You put policies in place that will serve the people.
I've told you, I've seen people. I will not say the position. They came out practically with nika, trouser. They gave they donated vehicles for him to be able to campaign. Today, these people are stupendously rich, owning multiple hotels in the city, and we see these things. But see, that chairman that you knew in your street, that had nothing before he became chairman, and then suddenly owns chains of hotels. He has bought all your streets. There are consequences for that thing you are seeing.
Especially when you choose not to talk.
Well, people will not talk. So the governor, we knew that before he became governor, he worked in the bank.
Two houses.
So and then suddenly you are already valuing billions of naira, millions in dollars to him. So there are consequences for it. The political leader you say you follow, that came in 1999, that we all knew. But today, trillions are being controlled. Chains of hotels are linked to him. Proxy investments are linked to him all over. And you think there are no consequences for it? One of the parts of the consequences is you going to the hospital and there's no bed space. I remembered when I had an opportunity, and so there was a need for me to get into a ward where some of the children were waiting to be operated upon, surgeries. And I'm like, there was practically a boy who the parents were still running around. The mother was there with him. The father was running around looking for money because the boy needs to go through a major surgery. The cost they cannot bear, so the boy is just on life support. Churches have tried, and I remembered one of the doctors on the sidelines told me that, look, that what this boy is suffering from, I think brain tumor or something, that in the Western world, a dog who has a brain tumor has 100% chance of surviving than a human being who has the same ailment in Nigeria.
And this side of the world.
Because these are things that the government will take care of completely for you as a citizen. The hospitals are there, the facilities are there, the care is there for you. And that's the case with so many of the. And Okoyemi, I keep still saying it too. Lagos is an exception. As bad as it bad, like they say in the street, the quality of healthcare you have in Lagos
is almost one of the best you can find
around. It's not the best, but if you once you cross the border, so we'll continue to say these things. Elections are coming now. Somebody asked me in one of our shows, if you say the government here is not doing well, who should we vote for? I said, it's not my job to tell you who to vote for. God has given you brains, it has given you eyes, ears, nose to make a choice.
And more than anything else, it has given you the opportunity of a voter's card.
So
use it.
So what we are supposed to do is just put the facts on the table.
And we guide the conversation.
Not even to impose our idea on you. The rest is left for
you decide.
And in all of this, even with the citizens also have major roles to play, because we are huge enablers of some of these evil that are going on.
Enablers of fraud.
On Thursday after the show, Mr. Mɪᴅ-Wᴇᴇᴜ was talking to Said Fuad and I downstairs, and he says that, he even said it on radio, by the way. He said when Ayodele filed a special case with the EFCC, this whole drama, 5,000 beds with Obasanjo drama, everything, it was facing impeachment. The House of Assembly was planning to impeach him. We had those issues when he left office. He said when the Fayose came in an helicopter in Ikere and he saw the multitude of people that went to receive him. If I remember that time, Mr. Matthew Okodo, I was in Ekiti, I was in Ado that time. A day prior, we heard that all the filling stations in Ado, the capital of Ekiti,
that was the second time were distributing after what was considered a successful performance of a fire.
In fact, that time was one of the best as at that
Ekiti has ever had with governance.
In terms of leadership. Fᴏᴟᴏ came in. They said a day prior that all of the filling stations in Ado were distributing fuel for free. So bike men went there. They went to collect free fuel. They didn't know that it was supposed to be used for triumphant entry or fire. That's what they call it, triumph. I was in Ado that day. By the time they waited at Faji Park, that's like the entry point into Ado, there were more than 6,000 motorcycles at Faji Park waiting for Fayose. Fayemi was not in Ekiti. I'm sure that when they sent the report of what was happening to him, he came back immediately. During that election, it was 17.
Politicians have weaponized poverty.
So again, it's like I always say, it's about the kind of choices we like to make. It's about what we like to do, the kind of politics we like to play. And this is the kind of politics that is taking us nowhere. It has not taken us anywhere. If we don't change, and that's why some of us were very concerned about the recruitment process again. We talked about electoral reforms,
the leadership recruitment,
so that we can begin to have some fine people, people of high moral standards, high integrity, people who understand that politics is about service to the people. Not just about enriching themselves, benefiting the people. The unfortunate thing we have here is that, look, politicians think, oh, I'm supposed to go there to enrich myself, and then I feed the people with the crumbs that fall from the master's table. You weaponize poverty and then you come back doing empowerment. So imagine one even distributed a wheelbarrow.
Starter pack of Polly Shoemaker. Have you seen empowerment before?
The things we have seen. The things our eyes have seen.
I saw a senator's empowerment in December 2024. Mr. Matthew Okodo. And I said, even some state governors where I'm coming from cannot do that kind of empowerment. You did empowerment and it was as if you are a governor. I've seen empowerment where they did packs of I don't want to mention the name of the brand, noodles. Then they pack it and they give you with small student gas, so that you have to go and start meshai, go and be cooking noodles. Well, the incident happened on Tuesday, which is unfortunate. Peter Obi, Oyegu, Olumide Akpata, others escape attack as gunmen invade ADC rally in Edo State. Well, the incident happened on Tuesday following the invasion of the ADC secretariat in Benin City by gunmen during the former defection of former Edo State governorship candidate Olumide Akpata from the Labour Party to the ADC. The 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and a top figure of the ADC, John Oyegu, on Tuesday escaped attack by hoodlums in Benin City, the Edo State capital. It was gathered that the armed hoodlums shot at Peter Obi and Oyegu as well as members of the Obedient movement while they were moving to Mr. Oyegun's residence from the ADC secretariat in Edo State. The politicians that attended the party's rally organized to formally receive Edo State governorship candidate of the Labour Party Olumide Akpata into the ADC. The rally took place at the ADC secretariat along Ogbelaka Street off Sapele Road in Benin City. The hoodlums arrived at the party secretariat during the rally before trailing the politicians to Mr. Oyegun's residence. Mr. Akpata was the Labour Party candidate in the 2024 Edo governorship election in the state. Mr. Obi and others were said to have been trailed to the residence of Mr. Oyegun, where the attackers fired shots which damaged the gate vehicles conveying the politicians in the attack. Well, according to Valentine Obime, the media aide to Mr. Obi confirmed the incident yesterday evening. As Obi was leaving the secretariat for Chief Oyegun's residence, these vehicles followed him. Initially, the convoy did not suspect anything as the movement of the Sienna buses appeared not suspicious. Once the cars entered the residence, the gate was shut. The Sienna arrived with the hoodlums and they opened fire on the convoy. At that time, Obi's vehicle was safely inside, while security vehicles and backup personnel were still outside. The media aide said the hoodlums fired multiple times and other vehicles attempted to enter Mr. Oyegun's residence while repeatedly shooting at the gate. However, the security personnel returned the fire and forced the attackers to flee. Thankfully, No lives were lost, though several people sustained various degrees and gunshot wounds, according to the report. The national coordinator of the Obinna movement, Yunusa Tanko, also confirmed the development in a statement on Tuesday. Well, the Edo State spokesperson of the Nigerian Police Force, Eno Ikodem, confirmed the attack on Tuesday as well. Ms. Ikodem, an assistant superintendent of police, said the police received the distress call that the hoodlums had invaded the ADC secretariat at about 3 p.m. She, however, said the police patrol team responded promptly to the distress call, upon which the suspect fled the scene. Some plastic chairs and canopies were damaged during the incident. Mr. Mansi Okudwa, it's been a while. We had significant, well, no disrespect, every life matters, but I'm talking about issues like this when build up to election happen, political assassination and all of those. The election is less than a year from now, maybe a little over a year. Campaigns are in earnest, nominations, conventions, congress, all of those will happen in 2026. Are these signs that we should be worried about, Mr. Matthew Okudwa?
Seriously, serious worry. Because when you have people who are over grateful for an unnecessary favor, this is what you have. But one thing I'm happy for now is that nobody lost. Like, let me put it straight, that Peter Obi
is safe.
Is safe. That's just it. If, as at yesterday, if Peter Obi was harmed, today you will move from your area to this place. I won't come from Ikorodu to this place. It will be, I don't know how I would have managed this station today. Would have been very, very difficult for me. I think, thank God for that. But you see, what happened in Edo is not just only in Edo, that we are interpreting our politics upside down. It's all over Nigeria. Everybody is up. See, politics is to enable you serve, but in Nigeria we interpret politics to be opportunity for us to be served, to enrich ourselves. So anything that seems to be against that our desire is regarded as an aberration. That's our problem. So we attack it. People feel that Obi is popular, and not knowing that this incident has doubled the popularity of Obi. But what they don't know, what the governor of Edo State don't know, I'm not saying he sponsored it, he should have taken drastic action immediately after, instead of trying to defend it, because he's opening a new front for Mr. President. People will not believe that he is doing it for Mr. President, because Obi is not coming to contest the election in Edo State. So Obi is contesting the election at the national level. Who is Obi's opponent at the national level? Mr. President. So if they had killed him, they would have killed him on behalf of Mr. President, in quote. So they are opening a new front for Mr. President. Mr. President should not come up and say, look, this rubbish should stop. I have not ordered anybody to kill anybody for me, and nobody should do that. If they have attacked a governorship candidate, we know it's localized. They have not attacked a governorship candidate. If they have attacked a senatorial candidate, we know it is localized. But it's not a senatorial candidate, it's a national, a potential